If the fire blows over, I can't make any promise or guarantee that we can get up there to save your life.
That's a stern warning from the Butte County Sheriff as the park fire has exploded in size. He's urging people to take the evacuation orders and warnings very seriously. All this comes as we're learning about how this fire actually started, and it's not good. Good morning. Welcome to ABC 10 Morning News on this Friday. Glad you're here with us. I'm Walt Gray.
And I'm Jordan Tolbert. We are monitoring all aspects of the park fire impacting both Butte and Tehama counties. So the flames have burned so far over 164,000 acres, and right now it's sitting at 3% containment. It started Wednesday near Upper Park Road in Upper Bidwell Park, that's east of Chico. Governor Gavin Newsom securing money from FEMA to make sure crews have all the resources they need to battle this fire. Over 1,100 fire personnel are on the front lines right now trying to get those flames under control.
All right, here now is a look at the evacuation zones. This is for Butte County.
And here's a look at the evacuation zones in Tehama County. For a closer look at the impacted areas, you can head over to our website, abc10.com. And when you go there, you can also find more information about the park fire, as well as some additional resources.
And there is an evacuation center currently open in Chico.
And that's where we can find ABC 10's Candace Red with more. She drove up to Chico earlier this morning. Candace, what are you seeing?
That's exactly right. You know what? We are coming to you live from the neighborhood church. Again, as you mentioned, it's in Chico. It's one of the evacuation centers. And I want to give you a look right behind me because you know what? It is a difficult situation for so many people. You can see that some people are camped out in the parking lot of the church, others sleeping in their car, their truck, or their RV. That's because thousands of people are being forced to evacuate because of the park fire in both Butte and Tehama counties. There are at least 58 evacuation warnings and orders. The park fire is threatening several communities like Cohasset and Forest Ranch. But Cohasset is most concerning, and that's because there's only one way out on a narrow road. At least 400 people are also impacted in Chico because of evacuation orders. We spoke with some people forced to leave their homes for safety. Take a listen.
For the past 3 months, we've been clearing brush, we've been weed eating, and we've got a hydrant at our house and a fire hose. But when we came up here and saw the fire was just across, we said, yeah, maybe fire hoses aren't enough, because we're just a couple of old people.
Well, the park fire is the largest wildfire in California so far this year, and according to CAL FIRE, it's more than 164,000 acres. Flames still growing out of control, and right now it's only 3% contained. But crews are having a hard time in the firefight, and that's specifically because of the hot weather that we've all been experiencing, that dry vegetation and the rugged terrain. The wildfire is also destroying several structures, and that's exactly why fire officials are urging people to be fire ready. That means making sure that you have an evacuation plan in place as well as an emergency kit ready to go. In Chico, Candace Red, ABC 10.
Candace, you had an interview in there from a gal who said, look, we've done the defensible space. We've got the giant hoses. We've done everything and then some. But when these things get going, right, there's not much you can do. It's like taking a knife to a gunfight, right?
Exactly. That's why it's important to get out, especially when you get those warnings and the orders coming straight from the emergency officials.
Yeah, the defensible space is only going to do so much when you got a monster fire coming your way. All right, Candace, thank you. Candace is live for us in Chico. We'll check back with her. So how did this whole thing start? Officials say it was set on purpose. Investigators are pointing to a video posted on TikTok by somebody who says they saw it happen.
I watched the guy blow up his car and then put it in neutral and roll it down the hill.
42-year-old Ronnie Dean Stout, there's his photo, now behind bars, accused of starting this fire. He's a two-time felon, was allegedly seen, as we just heard, pushing a flaming car into a gully Wednesday afternoon. The car went into the embankment, burned completely, and it caused the park fire. The Chico man is being held without bail, set to be arraigned in court on Monday. And to stay up to date with all the developments, be sure to download the ABC 10 app and be sure to turn on notifications for updates. Rob, so all of these, not all of them, but many of them are started, sometimes man-made by a lawnmower, but many times arson.
Yeah, it's one of the most nauseating feelings to know that all of this did not need to happen, folks. And that's just really a tough pill to swallow. With that said, when I was looking at these images yesterday morning and I started to see the early in the morning fire activity, folks, it's only 6 o'clock in the morning. And we're already starting to see this actively grow and collapse and grow and collapse. And we're seeing fresh smoke there on the top. So I'm just expecting, unfortunately, I got that same feeling just like yesterday. It's going to be a rough day for this fire. So if there's anybody still hanging on in those evacuated areas, I got to tell you, folks, this is not the day. You don't win a prize by staying. So please listen to the officials, get out, because when this really gets going like it did yesterday, they're leaving. The firefighters are leaving. They're not staying there, and your options become limited to basically nothing. So with that said, what we saw yesterday was absolute, explosive, aggressive, extreme fire behavior that burned so many acres all at once, essentially. I mean, there was a 3-4 hour window where it probably went through 40,000 acres, all mostly on the north and east side of this fire. Now, that's the only thing about all of this that was somewhat beneficial. There is not a lot here. There's some wilderness terrain. There's obviously a lot of vegetation, a lot of stuff that has not burned, has no history of burning. But there's not a lot of structures out in this area. There obviously is here, closer to Chico, closer to Forest Ranch, Magalia, and some of the outer areas which are on pre-evacuation notices, including the very edges of Paradise. Skyway, which was the escape route for the campfire, is included in some of those pre-evacuation notices. So they are expecting at least some growth off to the east again today. So again, this is an extreme situation. It's covered by another red flag warning. 164,000 acres. Look at the smoke and haze. And let me tell you, again, the only beneficial thing about any of this is that most smoke and haze and fire growth is moving to more unpopulated areas, or at least limited population in those spots. Everything south of the fire, if you're worried about weekend weather conditions and smoke and haze, at least over the next 24 hours, you should be in good shape. We have a massive cool down happening right now for Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto, and everybody else through the weekend. Highs are going to go from triple digits yesterday to 80s tomorrow. We've got that long range forecast coming.